Hello and welcome to another Crusader Kings free news video. This today is covering again the USG article where a journalist was able to interview the head devs. Today I'm going to be covering the subject of the Mongol Invasion. It is included in Crusader Kings 3 at launch. The Crusader Kings 2 Nomad mechanics, however, are not. The map also leaves plenty of incognito room for a later China-focused DLC, akin to the CK2 India expansion. However, the devs have not spoken about this. This is pure speculation. The map expansion does, however, include as far east as Mongolia and as far south as the Gold Coast of Africa, and has been said to be 4 times as large as the Crusader Kings 2 map. But back on to the Mongol Empire. I'm not entirely sure it would work under feudal or tribal mechanics. Something more nomadic would fit them perfectly, but as far as we are aware, nomad mechanics have been removed. So I'm a little skeptical as to the flavor of the Mongol invasion. Is it just going to be an overpowered tribe? I sure hope not. Is it going to be feudal? Again, I hope not. It's been announced at launch, but Nomad mechanics have not. So I don't know what to say about that. It doesn't sound perfect. It sounds maybe it might be simplified, whereas the flavor a Mongol culture could bring to the game would be very unique, because the Mongols were themselves very unique. So a different playing style hopefully will be released at some point. But I did step onto a China-focused DLC. The article states that there is a large Terra Incognita to the eastern end of the map with a dragon piece of artwork on it. China DLC would be terrific for the game. People have many times throughout the years stated that they wish to have a China focus. My issues with this, however, would be the character number causing lag issues. So again, with many mechanics that have been mentioned, I would appreciate the ability to remove it. Perhaps an option at the beginning of the game to either choose the west side of the map, the east side of the map, or both. Maybe even more central. Maybe you can zoom in. Maybe you only want to have Britain. You'll have a small little area there, and that would help a lot of the people with older devices, because a lot of people do struggle with the lag late in game with CK2 already. I think forcing all of these individuals to upgrade their computer systems to play the game, it's not exactly like Paradox has a gun to their head to upgrade or such, but these people would be forced to play the game to the full potential. So if there was the ability to turn it off, I think that'd be very great. A great thing for Paradox to do, and a lot of people would deeply appreciate that. As for a China DLC or Cafe Empire, it would be a very interesting way to play an isolationist empire with an Indian Ocean trade route. I think would add a lot of flavor, especially if my requested features such as more economy based trade, maybe if you have wares scattered throughout the world as you do in EU4 or Victoria 2, I think that would add a lot of depth and what was the word I used earlier? Well, let's just go with depth. A lot of depth to the game. So somewhere like China would open up a lot of avenues of that. Also with the Mongol Empire. Since the map has been expanded to Mongolia, we should be able to have a Silk Road trade route in its full glory, and perhaps a sort of Marco Polo-esque mechanic where you can send a character east for multiple years. They might come back, they might not come back at all. They might come back with wealth or maybe a horse retinue to the west. Something like that would be terrific. You do have the ability to have foreign trade, where you go off, you come back, you might upset them, you might have 500 extra gold, but it's very basic. You get the same events each time. What sort of ship will I get? What sort of gift will I give to these individuals? Should I bring my priests with extra money? Should I tell them to shut up and make the guy like me a bit more? A lot more mechanics towards that I would greatly appreciate it, especially around the silk trade routes. Also with the Mongol Empire, you have the ability to expand on horse combat and horde mechanics. Hordes uh, I don't think they've been mentioned at all, but hordes are quite like the nomads, so I think there is a DLC waiting to happen right there, and I think it should come as soon as possible, because leaving Mongolia without its own flavor would be a huge shame, really. So some horde mechanics I would think are great, and horse combat could be delved deep upon with that. That's all I really wanted to cover in regards to Mongolia. I hope it's got flavor. I hope it's going to be terrific, and I hope that China is an option later on in the game. As well as the map expansions, I also went on. Going down to the Gold Coast of Africa again. If my dream economy is implemented, then some gold trade with Africa would be a terrific thing, because there was trade from the south coast, which made its way up through onto the Barbary states and then into Europe. So hopefully something like that will be an option. Perhaps even a sort of slave trade, if that is implemented. When I did mention slave before, a lot of commenters mentioned that slavery was prohibited is prohibited the right word? Frowned upon, not allowed in the Catholic religion, but I would then like to state that Catholics are not the only religion in Crusader Kings 2. Islam was quite a fan of slavery, and so were some African religions and other Eastern religions. So if there was a slavery mechanic, Christians might not necessarily have it, but then you can found your own heresy, because that has also been touched upon. You can found your own heresies and such with your own custom in doctrines. So perhaps if you want to have a Catholic slavery empire, it would be an option through the game, as far as I can tell, if there is a slavery mechanic implemented. Dynamic epidemics have also been stated as not being in the release version of Crusader Kings 3. The devs were not entirely happy with how it was in Crusader Kings 2, which I can understand, but I do appreciate it. I do like the epidemics, and I would enjoy an interactive Black Plague, something more. Well, like I said, interactive. At the moment with the Black Plague, it just happens. You could build a hospital, and that is about it. You can maybe close your gates and throw people out of your castle. There's not terribly much to it. Whereas perhaps you could implement ways of slowing it down by closing trade with foreign nations, perhaps stronger border control around a diseased area to help slow it down, or maybe even stop it entirely, and perhaps even a cat economy. Cats were known for helping with the Black Plague a lot. The Black Plague actually happened right after a genocide of cats. Not exactly sure why there was a genocide of cats, probably something to do with witchcraft and wizardry. But as soon as the cats disappeared, the disease came, and then the cats reappeared, and the disease soon slowed down. So perhaps some flavour there, like if you have high research into health, if health is a thing to research, perhaps you would have the option to spend so much money, depending on the size of your kingdom, to implement a cat economy, where you can just invest in cats and help slow down the movements of these plagued rats and such. Maybe you can't afford it, so your bad economy, your bad economic decisions previously, then leads to your nation being devastated with less food production, food production is also another feature which I have personally stated I would like in the game. It's not actually been announced. Population, of course, being affected and other things like that. So there is some good news, some more speculation to be had. But yes, that's the two major points I want to cover. Well, there's three, I guess, because there is the map expansion. But these are the major points I want to step across with these videos of this particular video. So let me know. Leave the comments down below and tell me what you think about the released statements so far on the game and my own requested features. Let me know what your requested features are and how you think Paradox can build upon the Mongols or the Epidemics or the expanded map or even the future Chinese. The Chinese, they have to happen at some point. So you can't have all the way to southwest coast of Africa and all the way east to Mongolia and not include China. China has to come in at some point. So let me know down below in the comment section. And if you want to join the Discord server, there's a link down below for that as well. Or if you want to support me even further on the Patreon, there is that as well. But go ahead and join the Discord because we do have many, many discussions about Crusader Kings 3 and all other Paradox-related games, as well as many multiplayers that happen all the time. So thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Again, goodbye.